And we'll try also to keep an eye on the waiting room and let everyone in. So let's get started. Welcome to this webinar once again. The agenda for today is quite simple. We are going to talk about what are the DPPs, why are they relevant, how does the public inquiry work, where can I find the drafts, and how do I have a say? And then, as I said, a short Q&A session at the end. We're going to do this for about 45 minutes. So the speakers, it's myself, Laura Linnane, and my colleague Jin Moen. We're both project managers, and we are the ones in charge of the technical committee SISTK 639 Digital Product Passport. So again, please use the Q&A box to write your questions, and we'll try to answer as many as we can. The ones that we don't have time to answer today, we will save them, and we will summarize the most frequently asked questions and publish also that on our website. So we'll try to have a hub with all of the essential information about the DPP standard drafts. All right, so what are the DPPs and why are they relevant? So digital product passports are what we call the key to the eco-design regulation. The eco-design regulation that is now abbreviated as ESPR is one of the sort of key aspects of the EU Circular Economy Action Plan, which is a part of the EU Green Deal. One major objective in that is for Europe to be the first circular region by 2050. So the Circular Economy Action Plan sets out a number of initiatives, and one of them is the eco-design legislation, which is now set in place to sort of operationalize the objectives, some of the objectives of the Green Deal. So the ESPR is a legislation that replaces what was previously known to be the Eco-Design Directive. And the Eco-Design Directive set out sort of a number of eco-design requirements on energy-related products only. And this was a very successful directive, and it provided major savings in energy consumption and GHG pollution, et cetera. So this was then upgraded by the EU Commission to be a regulation instead, giving it a lot more heavier force, and it also is now widened to also include many more product groups and not only energy related. One major difference between the directive and the regulation is that we now have a requirement for many product groups on sharing information. And the sharing of information is going to happen through a digital product passport. The DPPs can include information about the product placed on our European single market, which in the end may help consumers to make informed and more sustainable choices. So we're developing standards to support or to put the digital product passports on the market based on a standardization request from the European Commission, meaning that they have reached out and asked the European Standardization Organization, SEN and SENELEC, to write standards that explains sort of the how to the what in the regulation. So we're trying to standardize now how the system of the DPP will work. In a standardization request, we also have a fixed deadline, and ours in this case is to publish the standards for the digital product passports in the first quarter of 2026. So it's coming up quite soon. So the aim is to enable information sharing on products placed on the European single market, and this is for end products and for materials, what we call intermediary products as well. And the points of having increased access to information are, of course, several. Essentially, having access to, for instance, sustainability data about a product or a material could help industries and consumers to make better choices. It's also a way for instance, market surveillance to work more efficiently. And essentially, one major aspect of having information about products and materials that are circulating on our markets is to be able to take back products after their first intended use, and to enable higher rates of recycling and reuse, etc., which is in line with the circular objectives of the EU. So DPP requirements will be imposed on all different types of product groups except for food and feed and medicine. Those three are excluded, among others. There may be also other concerning organic materials, etc. But apart from that, it's a wide range of product groups that are going to be covered by this. And the product groups are visible here, some of them. So this is an overview of the ranking of prioritization of different product groups. This was developed by JRC, the Joint Research Center under the European Commission, and this served as a basis for the updated ESPR. So these different scorings may change, and that in turn will change the prioritization of different product groups. But it serves as a good basis for how they will prioritize different groups based on what you see on the top there, different sustainability criteria, circularity criteria, and on the far right you also see strategic autonomy criteria, which means sort of how dependent are we on others in order to get access to that type of product group or the material needed for it. So what you see here is end products, but as I said, it's also for intermediate products, which you will see on this slide. So the latest that we know about the prioritization of these different product groups is that iron and steel and textiles are going to be very highly prioritized because the potential of circulating these materials and products is very high in Europe. So we expect DPPs to be launched in those product groups very early. So what we are doing is we're doing the standardization of a system. What information is required for the different types of product groups, that is not a part of our standards. That's dealt with in delegated acts, which are under development under the lead of the European Commission. So that's sort of a separate a parallel activity that's going on. And those delegated acts will include sort of what criteria and what information will be applied for each type of product group, as it will naturally differ quite a lot between the different products. But the DPP system, how it's going to work and what could be sort of the seen as the invisible parts, behind the scenes parts of a DPP system, that is what we are standardizing now. And our standards and our DPP system is the one that's going to affect all of the different product groups. So there will be, of course, some type of specifics to each and every product group, But what we have here, the infrastructure sort of to the DPP system, that needs to be applied to all product groups. We are standardizing a wide range of aspects for this system. This is a print screen from our standardization request. So this is what we are requested to do by the Commission. So we have 8 different modules covering 8 different aspects of what we need to have in place for a DPP system to be secure, reliable, and functioning. We have done so in a European technical committee, which is also in turn divided into 3 different working groups. And the working groups are responsible for different modules, as you can see here. So there is, we have one working group on unique identifiers and data carriers. We have one on security and one on interoperability framework. You can see it put differently in this slide, where you also see the different responsibilities that have been placed for the different working groups. As you can see, the working group on unique identifiers and data carriers has been led by us in Sweden. And then we have the one on security, Norway and Belgium. And then a working group on interoperability framework has been led by Austria. Here in Sweden, this has been mirrored and followed by SISTK 639, digitala produktpass. This is the national mirror committee to the European work. So all of the members of our technical committee, TK, have access to join the different working groups and to contribute in drafting all of these standards. And luckily, we have a very wide set of knowledge on the DPP system and everything that we need to sort of connect into that here in Sweden. We have a big technical committee, one of the largest ones in Europe, actually, currently consisting of 75 experts from a wide range of different industries. And it's still open for anyone to join from any type of organization. Anyone who has an interest to have a say on this, you're very welcome to join this committee. What's special here also is that the EU Commission have joined the working groups also. So we have experts from the EU Commission connecting with our experts from all of the different countries that are part of this work. I think we are now 21 different countries that are contributing actively to the drafting of all of these different modules. And the point of having the EU Commission part of the sort of the active work is that they can continuously help us to see that the drafts that we are writing is in line with what they intended with the standardization request and with the legislation. So this has proven to be quite a good and effective way of moving forward, and it's uncommon for the standardization system, or has been so far. And now we see that it's a way of working that has been quite good for us. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say about sort of the background to why this is relevant, why we're doing this. And now I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Genom, to actually give you the most relevant information on where you can find the drafts and how you can have your say. Over to you, Yin.
Yes, thank you, Laura. And I hope you see my screen now, and I will try to share some thoughts, or not some thoughts, some facts about how the public inquiry actually work. And the public inquiry is a very essential part of the standard elaboration. As Laura said, that we have already done a lot of work to draft these standards, and now we need to collect national comments and decide on what if these standards actually are implementable, or if they contain the right things. And what we are focusing on in this phase is this green area, and to collect national comments and decide on which of the comments should actually be valid. It's actually separated into two parts. First, we collect national comments, and then we decide on the distribution. And these national comments, where anyone actually can contribute, and that's what we want you to do here. And you can do that until September 1st. And then after that, it's time to create consensus of all the comments created or contributed by the Swedish participants. And the one that are actually creating this consensus and decide on which comments we are going to include the Swedish suggestion or comments to the GTC is the technical committee that Laura has been talking about already. So if you want to join even the latest part, then you can join the committee. As I said, this is the national comments that we are going to focus on now for the remiss, the ballot. But after that, when all the comments have been collected, the next step is to include these and send in the Swedish suggestions. And then the JTC on the European level, they will take into account all the different comments from all the different countries to create the final or the final suggestion for a national publication and formal vote. So as Laura said, we have 8 different standards in total to comment on. Today there are 6 of these that are ready to be read and comment on. The next one will come in a few weeks or a few months. It's not clear yet, but we will let you know when it's ready. And then they have different kinds of names that you don't really have to know, but just so you see, they will have different naming in different systems. So where can you find these and how can you actually comment on them? So there are 3 different ways to contribute depending on who you are and what role you have. The first one is actually for anyone. It's for the public, it's private individuals or organizations that can comment. I've put those in both Swedish and English here in case you know all the different kinds of namings here. And the second group, we have selected some national agencies, industry or organization that we really want to comment on this one, and we will send special emails to them. And also, if you are a participant already in the technical committee, you have another portal. So if you are anyone, you can use a online service called Kommentera at SIS. I will show that in a few moments. For the agencies, we send an email, as I said, so-called remiss in Swedish, but they can also use Kommentera. And for the participant in the technical committee, we use deltagarportalen, which is our internal collaboration platform. So how are you using the Kommentera then? This will be available from today, or actually from Friday until September 1st. You go to kommentera.sis.se, and there you create an account and you log into this one, and then you will come to this website. And then you navigate to the standard you want to read, and you can do that by either searching. If you search for TK639, you will get all the DPP standards, or you can also scroll your way down where it said bläddra per ämnesområde and find the standards. There are 2 different categories that the standards are sorted under. If you go to informationsteknik, kontorsutrustning, you will find all the DPP standards, or if you go to miljö and hälsoskydd, säkerhet, you will find 4 of the standards today. And when you're in there and you so you found your standards. How do you get the document to read? Well, you click on the title of the red button, detaljer om förslaget, and then there's a small button here, read or läs förslaget, and then you come to the site where you can actually download the PDF, and you can also put your comments. And the comments then. How to write a comment, and it's quite important how you actually phrase your comments and what you comment on. As I said, it will be probably hundreds or thousands of comments collected all over Europe. So first of all, you have to state which section you are commenting on. You will get that from the PDF, of course. And you write your general comment about this, what your opinions are, but then you also should suggest a new wording. What would you like to change into? So you don't write like, oh, this, I don't like this, or I don't understand it. Then also write, how should it be said instead? And then you need to indicate what type of comment, because it can be more general comments, it can be editorial, you know, like erratas and so on. And it can also be technical, which is more like the standard vocabulary for how we actually write standards. And then also, who are you representing? Is it you as a private person or private individual, or is it organization? And then you either save and add more comments, or you send the comments. So I will try now to just show, so I wonder now if you can see my website.
Yes, we can.
Good. So here is the Kommentera website. You log in here, you create an account, and here you can either search here. I've already searched it. You click on the search, and here you will have a list of all the different. If you go into one, you can here read some facts about the draft. You will also read the scope of the draft. And if you want to read the document itself, you click there, and here you can download the document. You will get a PDF, and it will have this watermark, since the standards are normally not publicly available, but for this action it will be. And then you can also here, then you put in your comments in this form. Okay. So if you're not using Kommentera, as I said, we will send email or remiss to some national agencies and industry organizations, and we will send the email probably today, or at least in the beginning of this week. We will include the 6 standard drafts and the template for commenting in Word. And these comments should be emailed to CIS, so we get that, the comments. But as I said, you can also use Kommentera if you would like to comment there directly. And it's the same deadline, September 1st, even for the emails. And if you are a member of the technical committee, you do as you normally do when you have ballots. You log into deltagarportalen and go to ballots, and you comment as usual. And as well as there is also closes on September 1st. So that was a summary. So it seems like it's a long summer, but it's a lot of documents to read, and it might be that you have to, if you're part of an organization, you want to talk to your colleagues on what to answer, and it's very good to, as I said, it will be a lot of comments probably. So make consensus in your organization maybe first before you make the comments. And you can comment in English or Swedish, which language you want. So you choose. Okay, Laura. Should we go further or should we take some questions on this one?
Yes, so thank you. And a good clarification there. English or Swedish is fine in terms of commenting. I wrote also in the chat that English is preferred, but not mandatory, because if you submit comments in Swedish, then we'll have to translate them, and there is a slight risk of misunderstandings there. I also just want to clarify that all of the comments that you send, everything that you send to us before September 1st, this is the very important deadline, they're not going to be visible to anyone else except for us. So everything, no matter where you send your comments, if you do it at kommentera or through deltagarportalen, we will receive all of the comments, and we will collate them into one long list of comments. And after September 1st, the National Mirror Committee, SISTK 639, we have meetings to discuss all of the comments that were submitted, because in the end, it's the technical committee who decides which comments are the ones that we send in formally from Sweden. The technical committee has a government mandate to, we have the government mandate to represent Sweden in these European settings. So it's important that everything that we send as an improvement, a comment, some type of input to these drafts is in line with what the members of the technical committee say. So it's not an automatic process where everything that is sent in goes directly as input with a Swedish stamp on it. We will go through them one by one and try to make everything also sort of coherent, and make sure that it's also that what we change in, for instance, in one draft, if we propose a change there, that it isn't contradictory to what is in another draft. So this is going to be, that's of course going to be a complex work to make sure that 6 or in a few weeks then 8 different drafts are coherent and in line. But it's important that whatever it is that we send from SIS to Senelec as proposed improvements is quality checked, and that we know that the members of the committee have said, yes, this is fine by us. All right, I'm going to stop the recording now, and we can head over to more of the questions. And as I said in the beginning, we will publish a Q&A or FAQ on our website afterwards as well. So if you miss anything right now, everything's fine. We're going to publish the most frequently asked questions there.